Hello everyone, welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I'm Reverend Tiffany White, Sage Woman. The topic for today's show is going to be astral projection, the astral plane, and also perfection. The idea, the whole concept of perfection. So these are two topics that viewers like you have messaged me, emailed me, and let me know that they would like to maybe learn a little bit more or have me discuss this on my shows. So, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I am very grateful. Thank you for sitting in sacred circle with everyone else. So, let's begin. We'll start with the astral projection. Now, you can use the search engine and look up astral projection, astral plane, astral traveling, and get a plethora of so many concepts, aspects, ideas of astral traveling and astral plane. There's some technical terms. Some have even labeled it to, there's different types of it. And I have to be quite honest with you, when I astral travel, I do not go over any of that. I'm not sitting there or laying there, however I'm traveling. I'm not analyzing my travel, because if your mind is too much controlling, one, you won't remember, and it can, I'm going to say, ruin the whole fun of a conscious astral travel. But then it becomes where you cannot remember because your mind wants to fight with you on this. Usually the mind's supposed to go to sleep if it's at nighttime astral travel. And, well, dreams, to a certain degree. Some dreams can be fear-based, which is your fears being manifested into a monster that's either chasing you or that's trapping you. Pay attention to this, because when you feel trapped or scared, that means that you have given too much power to fear. You can, I won't say analyze, but you can understand your dreams. So the astral travel, though, is when we leave our body. Our soul does not stay in this body 24/7. It can't. It's multidimensional. It cannot physically stay in one place. And it doesn't reserve just nighttime when you're sleeping to leave. Many of us do this on a daily basis. It could be during daytime. It could be during a daydream. Many of us has daydreamed. You're physically here, but you're not. Alright? A daydream. You're astral projecting. You're astral traveling. You're anywhere but where you are physically. All right, and so that type of meditation is a form of astral traveling. You are leaving your body in a comfortable state and consciously leaving your body and going to the upper dimensions. All right, and you're doing so this way is the meditation, so that you are awake and can understand. Because, like I said, many people don't remember their dreams. Many people don't remember traveling on a subconscious level. So, I always ask for simplicity in everything, because we really are simplistic beings. We are simply created. When we try to explain sometimes or use too many words or too many labels, we're separating, and then we're pulling apart. And when it creates more questions and then more questions and more questions, we are so far off the divine truth at that point that we should just stop. Because when you hear the divine truth, when you get to it fast and quick, it should vibrate within your body. And you know when you hear the truth. You know when you're being lied to. It's the same kind of thing. And the mind thinks it's helping you, is protecting you, but it should not control you. Our mind's not designed to do that. So this is why we have to give power back to our Sacred Heart Center. All right? And it's very important. This is where command is. This is where control is. Just a little recap there. Okay? From previous videos and discussions. All right. So back to the astral projection, astral plane. I do not purposely try to do exercises that way. I like to freestyle. I just like to go. And when it happens, it happens. I don't try to stage it, so to speak. Because I've heard some tips people give, astral projection tips of, okay, this is what you can do. You lay on the couch and imagine, just push yourself out. However, they don't give techniques. It's just however you can push yourself out of your body. See yourself laying on the couch, or sitting in a chair, or wherever you are, and getting up and walking to the kitchen. Describe, what you see in the kitchen. That type of thing, I have to, quite honestly, I don't have success with. I'm a huge astral traveler, but I let the subconscious command where we're going. I don't try to control it too much. And I think that's proof on a conscious level. That's proof for our mind that we can do it. But I have to tell you, as you get really good in astral projecting subconsciously, and you keep raising that awareness up to the consciousness level, you will remember. And you'll be in awe. You'll go, oh yes, this is great. All right? So what I'll do is, before I go to sleep, and if I want to visit a loved one, my mom and both my dads, I had my biological dad and then my bonus dad. bonus for me, 2 dads are on the other side. They're crossed over into heaven. So if I want to have a conversation with them before I go to sleep, I'll command. I'll put the command out. It's my angels who will assist in the travels. They always do. Your angels, there's lots of protectors around you. And so I ask, all right, whenever it's possible for my loved ones, because they're busy, if they are available tonight while I'm sleeping, that's great, or early this morning. If not, then within the next several days, I'd like to put in a request to visit them. And I may give a location, like I love the garden. I always seem to be in a garden, on a bench, we're talking, and it's very beautiful, very beautiful. So you can command what you want that way, and then just be gentle and let it happen. Like I said, especially when you want to visit a loved one, it can take a couple of days or evenings before that happens. Just because, like I said, we're always busy, we're always working, so it lets them know, we don't know what dimension they're in. Hey, can you be in this dimension at this time? So put in that request. It really works, but you have to be patient. All right. Now, also too, when they say ask a question, when I say who's they, when they say in the spiritual field, when it is said ask a question before you go to bed and you wake up with the answer, it's because the answer already resides in the Sacred Heart Center, in that within area. And you could even say that that's an astral projection itself going within, because within us is like a portal. Once you open back up that Sacred Heart Center, many of us have shut the door, locked it, thrown away the key. It's not helpless at this point. You can reopen it. Just open it and realize it's not locked. All right, it's an illusion that it is locked. Open it. We have guarded ourselves so much that we're hurting ourselves. We are locking ourselves out of our true power. So it can even be said then that astral travel, astral projection within, all right, going within is could be considered astral projection or astral travel, because it is a portal. And we have, and people felt like when they're in a meditation or when they're really in, and it's just taking some deep breaths, really relaxing, that type of thing. Meditation isn't just, I know I've said this before, sitting like a guru. It could be painting, reading. Maybe if you get into a zone. Artists, musicians do this all the time. How many musicians played a song and they're gone? My son, my youngest son, plays electric guitar and then acoustic guitar, and he when he was playing, when he lived at home, kind of miss hearing him play, but when he would practice and I would stand in the hallway and I would stand in his doorway where he could see me, he couldn't see me. Want to know why? He was gone. He was out of his body. He was in that zone, and it wasn't until he came back in, and it was almost like, even though he could be looking at me, he wasn't looking at me. And then when he was like, oh, how long have you been standing there? I didn't realize you're standing there. It's the same thing. Musicians do it all the time. When they hit that upper vibration, when they hit that zone, we call it, right? So anything that puts you into the zone, guess what? You're astral traveling. Okay? And I just like to let it be. What do I need to know at this moment? Because what we think we want the answers to may not be what's the number one important thing that our guides are trying to get to us. So we have to be receptive to that. So let's open up and just, what do I need to know right at this moment? Always, always for your highest and greatest too. Always put that out there. So what is it that I'm missing? What do I need to know? And I guarantee you'll get validations as well from other people, just whether it's in a song lyric, whether it's you read something, the validations come in. Okay. Now, I love to astral traveling to other places. I don't like to physically travel. I don't like to physically fly on a plane. I'm very sensitive to barometric pressure. I'm very sensitive to pressure. And I have flown. I don't care for it. And I have to really work on myself to not go into a panic attack, because I'm so sensitive to that pressure and I feel it, that it sends me into high anxiety. And so I have to really sit there, almost like the whole flight, just go into this projection, into this astral travel. And it's funny because it's the same thing I do when I'm in a dentist chair. Okay? Anything that maybe you might be fearful of or that kind of terrifies you in one way, shape, or form, you kind of check out and leave a little bit, right? So I do that if I have to fly, if I have to be in a dentist chair. So, and I do, I'll take off. Just, I'll see myself hover over my body at the dentist and then just go travel. And you can remember, ask, of course, always to remember, and you will. Again, you got to work that muscle. You got to work that spiritual muscle. And the more that you do, the stronger it becomes and more powerful. So I like to travel. I've been to Egypt. And you know, the great thing about traveling via astral travel is you get to go into places that the tourists don't even get to go. The off-limit spots. Ooh. Now, no, I can't say that. Okay, never mind. You'll be surprised where you're taken. If you have access to secret spots, you'll be taken there. And the reason why I'm holding back a little bit is because I can refer to some spots, but that's not what where you're supposed to go. It can be, what am I talking about, Tiffany? These secret spots, whether they're caves, whether they're under the water, whether they're, I can't get specific here, but because if you're meant to be there, you will be, and you'll remember. All right? So it is important. The locations have been protected for a very long time. And if you are meant to be there, you will go there, whether in a dream or in an astral travel. It's the same thing. Some people go, oh, I had a dream, and what they're really recalling is an astral travel. Now, how I can tell if I'm going to sleep in astral traveling versus I'm really relaxed, I want to go here. This was my favorite place to visit. Whether it's, any place, not just in the United States. You can go outside the United States. Oh, I want to go to Egypt, or I want to go to Scotland or Ireland. And I find that I go to Scotland quite often and sitting in the hills, in the home of the Highlanders, and just sitting there overlooking mountains and plains and just, oh, it's so very beautiful there. And pay attention to the smells, to what you feel, what you see, what you hear, and write all of this down afterwards. This is why it's very important to journal, because sometimes when we try to recall something, we forget details. So write it down. And then it becomes such a part of you if you keep going there and visiting the same place that it's like, oh, yeah. It's just there and you can get to it very quickly. I've toured castles, European castles. There was some, I've always had a connection to Transylvania, and I wanted to go to Dracula's castle. And the guides were like, well, which one? There's the Hollywood one, and then there's the real one. So I asked to go to both. All right, so we can go anywhere. This is what I'm saying. It's like, what does this really look like? I want to go here. I want to go there. Ask your angels. Let's go. And know that you are protected. And you are safe when you leave your body. No other entity or no other soul can come into your body while you're astral traveling. All right? That's just, no. That's just crazy talk. No, it doesn't happen. You are truly, truly protected. We have to leave our bodies on a daily basis. And if that was true, there'd be a lot more evidence and proof, and we'd be hearing a lot more of it if that was the case, okay? So know that you are protected. A lot of times people will feel, now I want to talk about astral paralysis, when you're coming back into your body, and some people wake up during this time. So now your mind has woken up because it feels a presence standing by the bed or on top of you, and you wake up. Now, what you can see is yourself, which some people, it terrifies them because they think that they're dying, or they see a black shadow over them. Again, don't be fearful. Let's ask questions. What is this? You know it's you coming back into your body because you feel immediate pressure. You feel like you can't breathe. And you can't scream. You can't talk. You open your mouth to say something and nothing comes out. And you're like, what's going on? That's you coming back into your body. And you happen to wake up during the process. This used to happen to me all the time in my teenage and when I was in my 20s. I thought I was having nightmares. I thought, and people can think that they're being attacked by entities while they sleep. You know what? When I had heard this, I was like, wow. And the first person to talk about astral paralysis, at least that I came in contact with years ago, was Sylvia Brown. And as soon as I read it, and she gave a nice little prayer, or just even a command that, okay, to your brain, to your mind, you will not be fearful when I come back and re-enter into my body. You'll be calm. It's just me coming back in. Recognize it, release it. Hasn't happened since then, and this has been about 15 years now when it just stopped. After years and years and years of me feeling like I was having nightmares, or someone was standing in beside me, or sitting on my chest, or what was going on. And I didn't talk to anybody about it. It was kind of like, wow, yeah. I knew it was an alien sitting, And you can go visit there too, as long as you're not fearful. All right, just go visit, have fun. Say, hey, I want to have a conversation with another being. Not an earth being, but another being. See how that experience is. We need to open and expand our consciousness to understand that the universe is multidimensional, and we need to understand these multi-dimensions. And when we do that, it's great. I remember the first time I did that, it was like, and I think I've mentioned this before, it's like, remember Star Wars and the cantina scene? I think it was Return of the Jedi. But anyway, whenever they're in the cantina, and there's all these different types of beings. They look different. They all, they look different, and it's really neat. It's okay. Not every being looks like us. We know this even on Earth. There's plant beings, tree beings, the animal kingdom, so to speak. We don't all look alike, right? So there are beings that do not look like us. And what better way to embrace these changes that are coming, these very positive upper vibrational changes that are going to occur. You don't have to wait for a physical contact with alien beings. Contact them now in your astral plane. Always for your highest and greatest. You always want to communicate with those who wish you no harm. That's why I say the highest and greatest. Okay? So there's also, here we go. How many of us have seen movies about, the center of the earth, or you can travel within the earth? Again, you want to be careful. You can do it. Always ask for protection, ask for your highest and greatest. And I'm going to tell you why. When you go to other beings' homes, and even anywhere, all right, they can see you. They can see you. You're going to appear like a ghost to them. Ooh. But they'll see you. I've had some people, feedback-wise, go, I tried the alien one, and I went underground, and there was these beings there, and I realized they're looking at me. I was like, yes. Well, did you say hi? And sorry, I didn't mean to, don't mean to offend. And again, you can also tell your angels and say, I don't want to intrude on anyone. Please, if those that are willing, beings that are willing to have guests, that would be great. Because you don't want to upset anyone. Any being. So it's great. There was a story too about, and this was when this was in Sylvia Browne's book, like I said, 15 years ago that I had read about an astral travel case where this woman astral traveled a lot. She went, I think, to a certain place in England, and really what she was doing, she was traveling to her favorite place in England that she had a past life in. It was such a beautiful life for her that she kept going back there, not realizing that it's an actual place in England. I mean, it's kind of like, this is great. When she would travel there, she didn't realize where it was. And then it was her and her husband liked to travel, and just, wouldn't you know, by coincidence, they end up to near where she had lived in a past life, and it all started coming back to her. She's remembering, she's like, go down this road, turn here, turn there, stop here, that's the house. It's like a mansion type of house. Well, she's like, I gotta go to the door. I want to see inside, because so far the outside and everything is just as she remembers it in her dreams or astral travels. Whether it's her memories of a past life that came to her in a dream, she remembered it, and then she traveled there. I want to go there. So this is what I'm saying. It's multidimensional what we're doing. So she knocks on the door. Someone answers the door, and they get all wide-eyed, and they scream to their spouse, "Look, hon, it's the ghost that haunts us is here to visit." They can see you. When you astral travel, you can be seen by those who are sensitive, all right? Not everyone will see you, but those who are highly attuned, highly sensitive, tapped into the upper vibrations. You're not cloaked. They can see you. Another she's a dear friend. She has a funny story that she, okay, she sleeps in the nude. So she would astral travel and visit friends because she's a powerful healer. So she gives healing to and go to those. And one friend, was like, "You came to visit me, and I really appreciate it, but could you put a robe on before you come visit? Because you were naked." It's hysterical. So how would they know? It's not like you tell people how you sleep, right? So there was validation. It was hysterical. It's cute. People think that we're cloaked. We're not always cloaked, like I said. And know that if you want to visit the other beings, that they are highly in tune, depend on where you want to go and what vibration these alien beings are. Okay, I always like to stick with the higher ones, and I have permission, to communicate with them. And I'll tell you, a lot of them are our ancestors. We have to know we were seated on this earth plane. Okay? You gotta know that. So they are overseeing or watching us and are there for advice. And there just to have a conversation with. Just embrace them. Alright? So I'm trying to think if that's everything with the astral. So a lot of times people mistake astral travel, astral projection for a dream. I had a dream. Here you go. How you can know, like in the very beginning, when it first starts. Some people feel like they're flying. I'm flying, woo, yeah. Or I'm driving a car and I'm going on this bridge, or I'm going on a very high bridge, and then the road ends, or there's a ramp, and I'm like in the car starts to fly, and you're in the pilot seat. And so now you're flying in the car. Either way, you're still traveling, whether it's us flying or you put yourself into some mode of transportation, which our mind goes a car or a train or a bus or a flying bus, whatever you use to astral travel. It's pretty fun. Once you realize what's going on, though, then you don't have to have that mode of transportation. You can just, I'm there. And instantaneously, you're there. You don't have to remember or take the long path there. That you can just instantaneously be there. And this is what we used to do in our light bodies. Now, remember, we had 12 activated strands of DNA in our light body. We have 2 right now. Actually, many of us are activating our dormant DNA. And as I send out healing to everyone and those who are ready, I ask that the dormant DNA strands be reactivated. And most healers are doing this, sending that out. Do that within yourself. All right, and you really do feel the shifts and changes in your body. And it's wonderful, and it's different for everyone. We shouldn't give a guideline, because we understand and know that we're all different and that we're all unique. Yet we want to try to make it a cookie cutter society, everyone the same, this, that, the other. You can't say we're unique in one hand and then, but generalization, we should all be like this. No. All right? Okay, so let's talk now. Well, let me get a sip of water. Let's talk now about perfection. I've talked about we are on our soul's perfection, a mission of perfection. My dogs agree. and so that got some feedback. Some people are confused. Now, I've also found it amusing, confusing. What? When we listen to other people, I'm always out there learning, absorbing information, absorbing useful and helpful. If you absorb something, make sure that it's for your highest and greatest so that it doesn't mess you up. But what I'm talking about is always go out there, always learn. We always have the opportunity of learning, continuous every day. While we're here on this earth plane and even beyond, we are always seeking the knowledge, the truth, and the wisdom. So I was listening to this one spiritual teacher, and in one week she talked about the importance of us in perfection, our soul's perfection. Then just recently, the other day, she comes out with something that is talking badly or kind of downplaying perfection. Perfection is an illusion. I was like, well, that's confusing, because on one hand you said it's this, and then the next hand you say it's this. This is what it shook down to when I took it to my guides. Like, what's up with this whole perfection thing? Why do people get offended? Your sacred heart center, your subconsciousness understands the concept of perfection. It understands, it just does. No further explanation is needed. Our mind does not understand perfection. It does not understand our soul's mission of perfection. It does not. It's not meant to. So what's happening now is that you're filtering your perfection through your mind. Do you need your mind's permission to perfect? So if that word upsets you, offends you, gives you a bad feeling, sit with it and wonder why. Are you feeling it here? Are you overanalyzing the word? Or do you feel it here? Most of us do this with words. If you read a sentence and it makes you feel uncomfortable for some reason, I like to break it down as far as what word is it? Where am I getting hung up? Only so I can understand myself more. Not to continue, not to add to separation, but for understanding. So then I'll figure out the word or the phrase and work with that within me. Okay, in my mind thinks, well, stop. How does it feel? Oh, okay. And I get it to a point to where I feel better about it. And move on. Don't get stuck there and keep gnawing it over and over and over and over. This is where we start to waste our energy and create something that's not necessary for us. And when we spin our wheels, or where we spend too much time obsessing, thinking over, or trying to analyze something, that's wasted energy. And you don't want to manifest something that you're wasting your time on, so to speak. Now, do you? No, you don't. Alright, so absolutely, our sacred heart center, our soul understands perfection, even if our mind doesn't. Alright? So we always like to better ourselves. Now that our mind can understand as far as bettering yourself, but perfection seems like, is it an endpoint? It's not an endpoint. Perfection is we're always striving to be the best being that we are. To keep our eyes on the goals. Keep our eyes in the upper vibrations. My guides are messing with the dogs. Sorry. It's okay. It's okay, babies. I just realized I looked up and looked over there. So, see, here's Ty. Say hi to everyone, Ty. Are they messing with you? It's okay, honey. Yeah, they mean you no harm. They're just having fun with you. Oh, anyway. Right? Right, baby. Aww. So, we are working and striving for that. And I find that perfection, it really isn't, like I said, a final destination. It's a vibration. It's an upper vibration that we want to be in. It's a place of absolute oneness. That's what that is. Whether you want to call it all sorts of different heaven, you know, whatever you name, the most perfect place for you that you would like to be, mind, body, soul. I believe perfection is a destination, spot, a vibration. It's like a portal type of thing. This is where you want to be. It's not a this is where this is what you attain and that's it. It's over. That's okay. Perfection is not short term. It's not just a let's reach this goal and then we're done. No, it's always evolving. It's just alive. And see, I don't want to give too much more explanation to it. My mind is trying to figure out how to say this. My heart's saying, you know what? It's just a beautiful place to be. It's where we go in meditation. All right? So, I hope that this has been helpful for you today. Thank you so much for watching my video, or whether today, tonight, whenever you're viewing this. So thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, my website is whitesagewoman.com. Please check out my website and see my many services that I have to offer. I also have a new production company called Goldylocks Productions. If you are in the spiritual, metaphysical, and holistic practitioner or professional, even a paranormal professional, and you would like to have your own radio or TV show, 1 hour weekly show, contact me and I'd be happy to produce it for you. You would have all the creativity and independence that you would like. It's your, you know, it's your show. I would just be producing it for you. All right, so be sure to look that up. And as well, this video can also be seen on TruePsychicsNetwork.com on TPN TV. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you have any questions or any topics that you would like for me to discuss, please feel free to email me or message me through my website. Thank each and every one of you. And may the obstacles to your flight be few and the blessings along your journey be many.